Hey, welcome to the Best of Everything. I am Ruben Paul, and across from me, as usual, my difficult friend, my brother from another mother.
Come on, man.
That probably wish he would have gave up for adoption. Johnny Sanchez.
She used to tell me that, my mom.
Oh, what a surprise!
Remember that? I told you I was like, kindergarten. Oh, what's up, everybody? Johnny Sanchez.
What a great way to start off when I'm just joking and you're like, oh, my mom used to say that.
She used to tell me that when we lived in San Jose when I was like 4 or 5 years old. We were literally walking to school and she said to me, you know you're adopted, because she did not want to have any more kids after my 3 sisters.
Okay.
So there was a 5-year gap. I wasn't an accident. I was the opposite. I was the forced.
I was the
you
accident.
were the accident,
yes,
and I was the
accident.
Forced upon. In my opinion.
Whoa, you're making it.
Well, what I mean is,
you're putting your dad on blast, like.
Well, because
hey, Kendi, you're gonna give me.
Here he goes. My dad.
You're gonna give me a baby, Kendi.
Oh, here we go.
I need a boy, Kendi.
Yeah.
Why am I doing that? I apologize.
Yeah, why are you doing this? So offensive.
I'm sorry, dude.
And
I apologize.
My dad doesn't talk like that.
I know your dad doesn't talk like that.
I mean, you'd have to overly. Here we go again. This has been our theme since day one on this thing. But anyway, what I mean
you don't do the black voices all the time. You even called me or texted me that you saw an older brother with a MAGA.
Yeah, the MAGA hat, the MAGA red cap.
Yeah,
and I showed you.
Where was this, by the way?
At Target. The Target on
city?
Fairfax, West Hollywood.
And the brother was walking around with that hat?
Yeah, and you know what's funny, man? We made eye contact, and it was interesing because I did
When you made eye contact, did you shake your head?
Well, man, it's one of those weird... No, mijo. You know what's funny is... I told you I did a double take because I just figured the cap was a sports cap.
Yeah.
I don't know. Assumed it was probably a Cincinnati Reds cap.
So basically you stereotyped him. You're like, a black guy, red hat, no way.
And I don't even say black guy. I say black man for some reason because he was older.
Okay.
He's like in his probably mid-60s.
Well, let's be honest. What you called him when you texted me, you said, I saw a
skit scat because of my skit scat bit. Yeah.
That's offensive.
You know what? You said,
called him a skit scat guy.
First of all, you didn't have a problem with that at all in the text.
It was actually hilarious. And Johnny sent me a picture. He sent me a photo of it.
Maybe we can.
He's like a little detective. Hey man, I seen a brother with the MAGA hat on.
The MAGA hat because the first was me getting sort of. I know he saw me do the double take because we looked at each other, and then I went back to look again because
what you looking at? Shit.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
No, because I got that from you.
I'm done. I'm out. I can retire
voice.
on this now.
I apologize for doing that voice because it's you, man. You got that shit in my head now.
Got that shit in your head. Also, you did know some older black men that speak like that.
I mean, not
okay. You answered. You answered.
You exaggerated.
The pause. I exaggerate for the
Kendi. I needed.
Hey man, come on,
Kendi. Why'd you say you were forced upon?
Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm going to get back to that.
The MAGA.
Let's just fix the MAGA dude. So I did a double take and I went, oh, it does say because I just saw again. Okay, I saw the tip of the left side of the cap.
Does it have the writing underneath the
top? It says "Make America Great Again," right?
Uh-huh.
Make America Great Again. So on his left side, more on that, I could see that it said "again," and that's why I turned back to go. Oh, is this guy wearing a MAGA hat? Cap?
Mm-hmm.
And he was, but he looked at me too. Like we made quick, and I turned away. To me, dude, because he's in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
I feel like first of all, it's President's Day.
Yeah.
When this happened,
wow.
And so, and he's got the suit, he's got the vest, the tie, the dress.
So he was dressed up with that
dressed
hat?
up with. I showed you the photo, and then
yeah.
sneakers and the red the suit was gray, so there was no matching. It's not like he was trying to match what he was wearing.
He was making a statement.
And it's funny because he kind of, when he glanced at me, I felt like he had that attitude.
What you looking at?
Would you look, or You gonna say something? Bring it on, son.
So why does he sound like Longhorn?
I say now, boy. Come over here. Let's talk about this Junior. Remember Junior, the little. Anyway. But I felt like he was walking around that area in West Hall. I mean, really, that's an area if you have a cap on.
Rare.
And I thought it was true, but he was dressed so nice, gray suit to the vest, the whole thing. To each his own. Listen, that's why I didn't. But the funny thing, Chris, is I sent the photo.
I would have liked it if you guys would have got kind of into a confrontation.
You know,
that would have been hilarious.
That would have been really. That would have been actually better for
because
the podcast.
Stuff like that does happen to you.
I know.
Oh my God! So, can you tell the story?
Wait.
All right. Okay.
Let me, Chris. Just so I sent him the photo because the guy kept glancing over at me as I was trying to get a picture of him.
Johnny was scared to get a front shot, by the way.
Well, because I knew that he kept glancing at me, and I thought this could end up becoming something if he,
Yeah.
I don't want somebody taking a pic of me either, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'd say something. So I waited till his back was turned, and I sent it to Ruben later, and then Ruben's like, I need proof. Give me the front shot because I'd only get the back shot. But what were you asking me to tell the story about? What? Who?
When you almost got into a fight at the bank.
Oh, from the spandex cyclist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny,
you guys tell me.
Let me just say. I mean, you guys have been listening to the podcast, and Johnny. Johnny has that little Napoleon temper, man.
It's not a Napoleon thing.
Yes, you're a hothead, Johnny.
Look.
And the fact that your mom said that you were adopted shows me that you've been a shit starter from day one.
Well, when you do get picked on at an early age, then
that's how you got the Napoleon complex, right?
I mean, I guess you could say it's I just hate that because it makes it sound like it's somebody who's short but has a problem with everybody and everything all the time. Like, don't make fun of my.
You just described yourself perfectly.
Oh, get out of here.
You just literally described yourself perfectly, man. So but one thing about Johnny is Johnny. We both can't stand bullies.
Hate bullies and rude people.
Can't stand bullies and rude people.
Is our big thing,
this
man.
is actually a good story.
Because
what happened at the bank. And start from the brother.
There's an older black man that works there.
Don't do his
and
voice.
He's not because remember he's from. I found out he's
African.
He's from Africa. Right,
okay, so you didn't get good. I'm glad you didn't give him the voice.
But he never really said a whole lot. I couldn't. He would just always be like, hello. That was it. And he would always opens the door for everybody. Very nice. Man, I mean, great guy. He opens the door for everybody. He doesn't have to do that. He's the security guy there.
Yeah.
So I see him on a daily basis for the last 2 or 3 years, and so I'm at the teller, and then I hear him say, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir." And I knew it was his voice. I turn around. It's this white dude in spandex shorts and spandex top, with the little racing shoes, and he's carrying his bike in.
So he's dressed like Lance Armstrong.
He's dressed like Lance. Yeah,
okay.
He's dressed like Lance Armstrong, and he, which those guys drive me crazy, by the way, because they think they can ride. They can ride in traffic with us in front of us.
But legally,
I know
they're
they
supposed to, Johnny.
I know that, but if you can't keep
Chris,
up,
he's getting mad. He's starting to get mad right now.
If you can't keep up with 35 miles an hour.
But Johnny,
I'm going to say this for probably half the other people that drive in city streets with cyclists. Get the fuck out the way then.
Johnny, but
because if you're going to be Mr. I know, they can be off to the side a little bit. They don't have to be.
Oh, you're talking about the ones that are dead center in the lane.
The dead center dudes.
That drives me crazy too. Well, I used to bike ride a lot. And I'm actually going to start biking again.
But you weren't spandex guy.
No, I'm not spandex guy.
Listen, I don't have any issue with. I see people, they're athletically, maybe they're in regular shorts or sweats. Yeah. I also don't have a problem. There's people who are going to work, obviously, on their bicycle.
Yeah.
I don't have issues with that either. It's these dudes that think, yes, legally they can ride in the lanes with us, but at the same time, they can't keep up.
Did I tell you the story about when the cop tried to give me a ticket?
All right, hey, wait a minute, we got off on me.
I'm sorry, but go ahead.
Sorry. Right. Guy walks in. He's carrying his bike
inside the bank.
Inside the bank, which I had never seen anybody do at this bank yet. I've never seen anybody. So obviously he didn't prepare with a lock or anything to put on.
Now, are you hired as security at the bank also?
No.
Okay, but you watch to see what people do. Okay.
No, what I'm saying is I even found it looked odd to me because I hadn't seen anybody do that before. And that bothered you when you see them bring the... No, it bothered me that he was not answering the security guard.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Because he's going, sir, excuse me, sir. And then he gets his bike. Remember, it's his job to be prepared where he's going to go run errands and have a lock and all this other stuff. That's not on he's putting his lack of preparation on other people. But I'm not even thinking that yet. I'm just like, wow, why isn't he answering
the brother?
The brother that's just being nice, just like, sir, like basically, they don't usually let people bring their bicycles in there. He'll watch them for people. So a lot of times, if they don't have a lock, he'll go put it right here, right out front by the ATMs.
And you've observed this?
He told me.
Okay.
I found this out.
Okay, good.
So he walks in, leans it up against the beam, one of the little pillars in the bank. And he comes, now he starts to get in line. I'm at the teller, there's nobody else. And I said, oh, hey man, he's asking you a question, dude. And he didn't say anything to me.
He shined you?
He shined me at first. And then he's like, sir, excuse me. Now the gentleman is coming closer to the bike and he's trying to get his attention. And I go, oh, hey man. Because I figured
this is the second time.
This is the second time. Because I figured he just maybe didn't know I was talking to him. Why wouldn't he? Yeah. But I go, hey man, this guy's trying.
Now, did you make eye contact when you said?
I was looking at him.
You were looking at him. Okay.
And he's like, tell you what. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to answer all those questions that you keep asking me if you just let me tell the story.
I just want to make sure that we cover everything because I know you're going to gloss over some things. But
no,
go ahead.
And then that's when I said, he's trying to ask you he's asking you something, asking you a question. And he goes, he's not asking me a question. He's just saying, sir.
Oh,
and I went, and let me tell you,
did he say motherfucker at the end of it?
The tone was
motherfucker.
That was in his head.
Yeah.
That's how he ended in his head. But I just went, what? And he goes, yeah, he's not asking me a question. He's saying, sir. That's all he said.
So basically he's telling you to mind your own business.
Correct. Which he gets to in a second.
Okay.
And then I said, no, but yeah, he's trying to get your attention. He wants to talk to you about your bike. And he's like, and then I could see in his face already that sort of like, when you see somebody, maybe their cheek is twitching a little bit. He had that twitchy cheek.
Oh, he
was starting to get already. Now he's a hothead, not me.
Okay.
So I just said, and then he's all, you know what? Why don't you just mind your own business, man? So I go, oh, okay. Oh, I go, okay. So you are the jerk I thought you were when I saw you walking in.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah, I said that. And then he's all, oh yeah, just do your business, man. Just do your business right there. And then that's when the girl.
Did he say anything about Mexican or just said do your business?
No, just do your business. Okay. And the girl now she's like getting ready. And then the brother goes just like, okay, hold on. He's like that because now you can tell it's getting heated.
It's escalating.
It's escalating fast. Yeah. And this dude we're staring right at each other. You know what I mean? And of course, I already am thinking to myself, he's taller than me. He's like 5'10", 5'11". I already got it figured out. Got to do a double leg shoot down, take him down, pound and ground. Take him down, pound and ground.
Down.
So I always have my
Did you
plan.
Say ground and pound?
Ground and pound. I always have an idea because I'm he's got the height on me. So I already got to start thinking if he comes at me, I'm boom, pow, maybe even a single leg.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
So when he said, why don't you just turn around and handle your business?
Yeah, right.
What did you do? Did you throw your hands up in the air? Did you just like?
No, I go, hey man, he said that, and then I sort of said, I'm trying to remember, I can't remember every single word said at this point because it's been a few months, but I knew after I called him a jerk and I said, I could tell you were that type of dude and he's trying to get me to, they were like, no, hold on. And then two women come out from the back, two managers, and they're now, and it's heated. And then I'm like, you know what, dude, all he was doing, and I was just explaining to him what was going on. So then I could see that the girls were, and this was one day, dude, I've been in there all the time. It's across the street from me. It's a walking distance. This was the first time there were no guys in the bank that day. All women.
All women.
Except the security guard.
And you.
And me.
Yeah.
So the women are all starting, and then I go, he's like, come on, the brother's like, come on. And I go, yeah, you know what, we can discuss it. We can discuss it outside if you'd rather discuss it.
That's the Johnny I know.
Yeah. You know I was not going to leave without saying that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, man, come on. Now he's starting to turn away and not make eye contact anymore.
Now when you threaten
when you throw can we talk about this outside?
Yeah, we can talk about it outside.
We talk about it outside, dude.
Have that same energy when we talk about it outside.
Correct.
Yes.
And then I could tell that the security guard's a little like, he's like, come on, man, come on, it's all right, it's all right. So he grabs, and as I was walking out, I literally was remember I told you this, I was going to grab his bike and just pick it up and throw it outside. But I decided, this dude looked like one of those guys that would be like calling the police. He threatened me. He touched my property. He had that kind of look, right? So I get outside.
Tell he was all bark, no bite.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I get outside, and then the security guard goes. He was like, "Hey, man, just move." I go, "No, man. Well, he's got to come out at some point." And then I think I told you I went down to the corner, thinking that he was heading that way, and he came out and went the other direction. But I did cool down.
You're going to ambush him?
No, I had calmed down a little bit because I started thinking about B.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about my daughter, and I was like, oh, I can't be doing. What if I do get taken to jail? I can't.
Yeah.
So afterwards, when I spoke to the security guard about it, I said, who is that guy? Because I've never seen him in it. And he goes, no, he's. This is only the second time he's come in here, and the first time he got into an argument with somebody as well.
Oh wow! He's
either
just one
a
of
teller,
those pompous.
He's just a pompous punk.
Arrogant, yeah,
right.
Thinks he can do anything.
And I haven't seen him back since.
Well, in fairness to you, that doesn't mean that you're a hothead, because in a situation like that, if you have this sort of working relationship with the security guy
and the teller's there,
so they kind of know you. So the fact that somebody was trying to get this guy's attention, I would have done the same thing.
Right. And can I tell you how nice the gentleman, and I asked him his name and I forgot it because I never asked him his name all that time, but the security guard, he said,
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. He said,
doesn't surprise me.
He thanked me, man, for sticking up for him that day. And now it's like when we see, when I see him now, it's a different hello. It's like, man, how are you, man? We shake hands. It's different.
This story makes me proud of you, man.
A couple of the hothead comes in handy sometimes. Yeah. And the tellers, one of the girls said something to me the next time I went in, like, hey, thanks for that. I go, oh yeah, I can't. I started to explain myself. I was like, I don't like rude people. I just hate it when people treat people like that. And she goes, you know what? You don't need to explain. We were so happy you did what you did. So obviously you're
like a little bit of a hero.
A hothead hero.
Well, you are a hothead, but that's not really a hothead. Your birthday's coming up. I know what I'm going to get you.
Another knife?
No. See, another knife.
I lost one. I need another knife.
So I'm not getting into stereotypes.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm gonna do?
Oh man.
Seriously, man, this fits you.
A cape.
No, one of those Mexican masks.
Oh, the Mexican mask.
Yeah, so whenever some trouble comes on, you can just put on your mask and like, hey, I'll do
the accent. Yeah, on something like this, I would change.
You could do the accent. Hey, do you hear him calling you? You could do that.
Which is, thank you for saying that. Now let's get back to my dad real quick, because I know how people get. I have people telling me, sometimes you guys will cut each other up. It goes both ways, by the way. I'll cut you off, and then
we go on to a whole nother topic. And we don't.
The reason why I said, look what I wrote down, not forced.
Okay, yeah.
No, I say that because my dad had to just keep on, like, over and over with my mom. Can we have one more? Can we have one more? My mom's, no, that's it. 3. My dad kept going. Can we try one more so I can have a boy? So it took 4 or 5 years.
And then he finally got
coaxing.
And he finally got his 4th daughter.
Yeah. And I did turn out nothing like he was expecting.
Yo, as this podcast goes on, you guys we
weren't even going to talk about
I know. You'll learn so much about Johnny and his relationship with his dad. His dad is a great guy.
Great man, by the way. Let me just say, I got really
served in the military. just an honorable,
hard-working man,
old school.
Yeah,
it looks great. It still works out.
83, still has been lifting weights, has never stopped lifting weights since 1952, when he and his buddies formed a group called the Future Greats.
Wow.
In 1952, they put a piece of paper on the garage door and
called
said
themselves the Future
Greats.
That's dope.
And years later, 40 years later, whatever, I would say to my dad, I go, hey, have you seen any of those? He goes, yeah, I run into them every now and then. I go, did any of them lift weights? He goes, no, I was the only one that kept on working out and lifting weights and
he's kept it up all these years, and that
even through injuries, like work injuries, after he had his prostate cancer in 95 and he went through surgery, he had to lay off for months, and then he gets right back on it, dude. Yeah. Like he can't use his knees and he can't do stuff with his knees are bad, and he's got a little bit of bad back, but he goes in now. He just sits and does curls and does military press and things like that, dude.
That's dope.
I mean. When I say, I know what you mean, because some people probably be like, well, I mean, he must be proud of what you've accomplished. And yes, he is.
Of course, yeah.
But I know that my dad was initially thinking when he had a boy, he was going to be sort of a really, really hard knocks guy like himself.
Yeah.
Street fighting. He was a street fighter. Don't forget, my dad was actually a street fighter a lot.
Yeah,
back then, because it was different.
And then your dad, unlike you, actually had black friends. You know what I mean? So it just made him a well-rounded person. I'm your only black friend, but
right now you are. But I told you growing up.
What?
Yeah,
he finally admitted it.
Well, you're the only one I hang out with, because the other ones don't hang out with
Tony
me.
Rock.
Tony just like dirty, and then he walks away. That was the most Tony talked to me was on the podcast. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. No. I love to. Here's the thing. I love bringing that up too. That my dad in the 50s had more black friends than he had Mexican friends, which was just so rare.
Your dad is.
They loved my dad, man.
I'm looking forward to hanging out with me, you, and your dad,
and doing some tequila shots,
some shots, just so we can talk about you and your childhood, and I can find out the truth about some things.
But he will tell you, and you're gonna hear how good of an athlete I was, and you better grin and bear it.
All right. Okay.
You better
We'll see.
We don't have to see nothing. I'll go walk you. I'll go walk you into his gym where he works out, and I'll show you all my trophies, and I'll have my mom find all those gold and silver medals that I won.
What, gold and silver?
A lot of gold.
In what? In what?
I told you, boxing and track, bro. Anyway, what is this? We had a different idea for this podcast.
Yeah,
you made me tell a story. At least I finished it.
You finished it, and
you didn't finish yours because you had one you were going to tell me.
We don't need to finish that. I was going to tell you this.
Which one was it?
When the cop tried to give me a ticket on a bike.
I think everybody would like to hear that though.
No,
because that is funny.
I don't want to discuss that.
Was it a bicycle cop?
No, it was a
regular squad car.
Regular squad car. I go by him.
Whoop whoop whoop. Like that.
This dude makes a U-turn like I just robbed a jewelry store or something. Yeah. He makes a U-turn and put you know how the police cars cut you off, he
woo.
He swooped in front of me and made me stop, and I'm like, why is this dude something? And he goes, hey man, you're not supposed to be on the sidewalk. And I go, yeah, I know I'm not supposed to be on the sidewalk. The reason I went on the sidewalk because a car kind of had swerved into my lane.
Oh, okay.
So I went on the sidewalk and I got right back off the sidewalk. But he took time out of his day to make a U-turn on Santa Monica Boulevard to pull me over to tell me that I cannot ride a bike on a sidewalk.
Did he give you it was a warning?
Yeah, but he asked for my
all your information.
My information. But I'm black, and I go, hey man, I don't have any identification on me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he goes, oh, you don't? I go, no.
But you had it on you.
Of course I had it on me.
What if he had frisked you?
He had no probable cause to frisk me.
Well, first of all, you did do an illegal riding of a bicycle, which I do all the time. I only ride on the sidewalk.
I know. A lot of people only ride on the sidewalk. And for him to do that, I'm not giving him my ID and my information so he get me caught up in the system.
Oh, damn.
Black History Month, man.
Well, okay. By the way, I've seen some recent. Unfortunately, this is not anything funny, but Ruben and I, we discussed this once before, and I want to bring this back up again on the riding of the bicycles on the side. Because remember I said, give me ticket or give me death? Remember that was my thing? Give me the tickets all day, dude. I'll pay those tickets every single time. I'm not riding the bike on with traffic, especially in the same direction, because people are mowing people down. And there have been, the last time we did this, I went to Vegas, and 2 nights after I got there to work a club, there was a guy that was killed riding his bike. He got hit by somebody that was distracted driver. Then there was recently a guy in LA who was going over sort of like a bridge. Instead of going up on the, you know how they have that sidewalk on the bridges where you can, he stayed, and then the person was distracted driver, killed him. And then there was the fireman who was killed by a drunk driver while he was riding his bicycle. This is all going with the flow of traffic on the street.
Well,
I just don't think it's worth it, dude. There's too many distracted.
Well, when I ride, especially when I used to ride almost every day, I just ride with the mentality of no one can see me, and I operate like no one can see me.
But Ruben, if you're going with the flow of traffic, unless you have rear view mirrors, side view mirrors on your bicycle, do you? No. So you can't see someone coming though, veering over and hitting you. You're not going to see it, man.
Hey, man.
So I go against, when I have to get on the street, I'm going to go against the traffic so I can at least see them coming at me.
Well, supposedly you're supposed to go with the flow of
you
traffic.
Have to go. In other words, what I'm saying is I'm going to break those laws. I'm going to break the sidewalk law and the going with traffic law every time so I can do a thing called living.
Really?
I'd rather do a thing called living than
all I'm saying is
go by the law and die.
All I'm saying is I follow the rules of the road, and this guy made a U-turn to harass me.
Yeah. And my friend Anthony had a drummer in his band. He was riding his bike in Burbank. You know, the Burbank cops, dude, are like their own little, it's kind of like,
oh really?
They're real, they used to be. I don't know how they are now, but yeah, Burbank. Yes. Chris said yes. They're like, be careful in going through Burbank, dude.
Oh wow.
They're that kind of, those kind of cops. And he was going through, you know, when it's a red light, and then you know it's going to turn green pretty soon. Well, he's on his bicycle and he's not even in the middle of the, but he starts going across, and so he goes across, like halfway through it turns green because he's like, there was no cars coming, so he starts to go, woo, whoop, whoop, whoop. So he was like, what, huh? And then he's like, and he made him get off the bike, and he made him put the kickstand down, okay? Yeah. And he gave him a ticket for running a red light.
Are you kidding me?
He gave him a ticket, dude, and he's just, you know, long-haired, you know, he's this rocker dude, white rocker dude with long hair. So, of course, asking if he has any drugs on him, any, you know, whatever. But he said, as he's writing him the ticket, dude, people are driving and honking because the lights were still on. And he's on a 10 speed. And people are honking and like, oh, dude, they're making fun of him. You know, it's like a stoner. It looks like he looked like a stoner.
It's just like, come on, man. Like, use some common sense. Do you have nothing else to do with your day?
I could see if he would have driven by and just said to you, roll the window down, like, hey, man, you know,
absolutely,
you gotta, you know, just don't go on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you do. All right. Okay.
But to, like, literally, man,
cut you off.
Like, cut me off.
Yeah.
Like he's going to hop out and pull out a gun and then starts to ask me for my information. I'm like, hey, man, I live right down the street. I said, you know, I'm just going to work out. I said, I didn't bring my ID with me, but we can go right down the street to my place. He's like, no, it's okay.
Oh, that would have been funny if he said, yeah, I'd like to see your ID. And then he doesn't let you ride it. You have to walk it back. So you're walking your bike back, and he's behind you with the lights on.
The only way that would happen is...
that's happening, motherfucker.
No.
Because guess what?
He would have had to put my bike on the back of his car, and I wouldn't want to ride in the back of a squad car.
No, see, but he'd make you walk your bike back as he has his lights on.
I would have liked to. That was kind of weak on his part.
Well, you know what? Anybody who listens to this and has police officers in their family or something, let us know, like,
Who would take the time?
But is that something that they're...
Now, if I was reckless, if I was on the sidewalk and somebody dove out the way...
If you were doing some bunny hops.
Or somebody dropped their groceries while I sped by or something, was a danger to somebody.
Or you were catwalking. You know, catwalking when
catwalking?
Wheeling, popping a wheelie. Catwalk. You guys didn't call it that?
No.
Oh, you guys never heard catwalking?
No.
Oh, yeah. When when you pop a wheelie and you keep going down the road like this. Back in the day, we'd be like, let's see your catwalk, dude. What kind of catwalk you got?
So here's what I want to talk about, because we've spent...
Oh, my gosh. We've spent
30 minutes on
adopted. and me hot-tempered, but yet sticking up for somebody who deserves it.
Which kind of led to the whole point of why...
And I'm going to see that guy in that bank again.
I'm not surprised that your mom said you're adopted, because you're probably a hothead as a little kid.
Really?
Did you throw toys and stuff, like slam them on the ground?
You know what's funny? My mom said, because I was asking her because the comparisons with B, like her temperament and whatever. And my mom was like...
It always makes me laugh when you go, man, B has a little temper. And I go... yeah. Where do you think she gets it from?
But here's the thing, dude.
You do got
my mom said, I asked her about how I'm comparing notes, and my mom goes, "You were a good kid. Like, you listened, you never talked back. You were just to yourself." And then I said,
"Was it the drug use?"
No, I said, "What? Where did I start to change and talk back?" And you know what she said? Puberty is when I started getting the tude and whatever. But I got to remember,
puberty is when what started happening?
More sports. Yeah. Anyway, and the other thing is, remember, even when I was picked on in grammar school, thank God my dad put me in boxing, because when these guys are coming, what are you going to do? It's shoving me, and I knew how to pop. And of course, I went to you go to the principal's office.
The two-leg, what do you say? Two-leg knockdown?
No, that was the double leg takedown.
Double leg takedown.
Double leg. I can do a single leg just as effective if need be.
Okay.
Heel trip.
All right. This is what I
figure four, guillotine.
All right. Enough.
Chicken wing, double chicken wing. All right.
It's enough.
I just want you guys to know what I'm capable of putting you in, but position wise. All right.
I'm sure you've told everybody what you're capable of.
You know, I'd probably pull something even if I did it. So I'm retired. Retired from fighting, by the way, everybody. Once I had B, remember I told you once I had B, I'm not going to get into fist fights anymore.
Okay, but you still get into some heated arguments.
I get into some arguments, but I think I need to not get into
because
physical altercation.
Yeah, because you escalate. But I mean, you can't guarantee that you're not going to fight anymore, because that's just
if somebody swings at me, then I'm you got
Or if somebody gets a little too close to you, you're gonna.
Well,
because you know what your dad told you.
Yeah, always punch first.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and you're still going to do that.
We can't do that now with the legal system. Doesn't.
I know, man.
You can't do that anymore. You got to wait.
It's instinct. You know.
And what's bad about cameras being everywhere is, at least back in the day when some dude used to come up and go, "What?" Yeah. Right? I'm sure you've done this too. The whole and then you make it look like he shoved you or something, and then you throw a punch. We can't do that anymore. Like a flop. It's like a fake flop
like
back
a flop
then.
in basketball.
Like a flop.
Yeah.
But didn't you do you ever do that before? Some guy starts to come up and you went, and then you like start throwing some chingazos, bro. And then I start throwing pura chingazos.
Oh, wow. So when you fight, you turn extra Mexican? Really?
It's a little more.
Do you have the accent?
You know what's funny?
We have to get you a wrestling mask. I'm going to get you a wrestling.
I have two in storage.
Mexican
in South
wrestling
Carolina.
mask?
Yeah, when I go back, I'll find it. Two black ones.
Yeah.
That's silver.
Man.
Hey, wouldn't it?
You'd be the little neighborhood Mexican superhero.
What would be my El Grillo.
Grillo.
The cricket.
El Grillo.
El Grillo. I wonder what would have happened if I say something to somebody in a different voice.
Hey, you can't bring that bike in here. This is a
job for El Grillo.
You run out of your place, put your mask on.
Hey, I'm just wondering something.
What?
What if like that situation had happened and I knew this guy was already going to sort of be a jerk?
Uh-huh.
And what if I talked to him differently? How would it have panned out if I had said, Hey, he's talking to you, Holmes.
Oh,
and show some respect, eh? Wouldn't that be? Wouldn't he? It would be a different.
His reaction will be totally different. Totally different.
He would not have talked to me like that. That's what I'm gonna start doing.
Yeah.
He looks like somebody has a problem in here, eh?
It would have been a totally different reaction. Well, black people, we blacken it up sometimes too. When people
told me,
hey, what you say?
Yeah,
you know.
You would do that, right?
Oh, I do it all day, every day. I get
all day,
every day. If I'm in traffic,
you told me about that.
Yeah,
like
I'm no articulate because they don't respect the articulate black guy.
And he didn't respect the articulate.
Yeah, I wish I had like
Mexican
a blue
dude.
rag, like a bandana, like some what, and then put my blue rag on,
like a do rag.
Yeah,
a blue do rag.
Hey, what you say, cuh? What you say, cuh? Who you talking to, cuh? Yeah,
and then I'm behind you, and you know I got his back too, Holmes.
You heard my little Mexican partner.
Shit, listen. I'm gonna make a call to be 15 here, boy. And 2.2, eh? That means fast, isn't it? No. Anyway.
You're so ridiculous.
We should do the one podcast, one street episode.
What do you mean a street episode?
You talk like
I'm from the hood.
You talk from the hood. I talk from the body.
Well,
and that's how we do the podcast.
I mean, we could do that, but
I bet we'll get huge numbers, bigger than ever, because they'll start sharing it with
Welcome
each other.
to the Hood Podcast. Something that's
the best. What would it be? Besides, you have to change the name from
the best of everything, cuh.
Oh,
yeah. But you know what's interesting though? How you're such a product of your environment.
Yeah, we talk about that.
It's like when I do go back to the hood and like see my friends, like my dialect changes
right?
immediately because it's so natural, because these are people that I grew up with. That's why you kind of laugh when you see me around my friends. Johnny's like, wow, you're so different when you're around your black friends. You sound so extra white when you saying it. I go, well, Johnny, these are like,
I get it too.
It's like shorthand. It's like I grew up in that environment.
Right.
People don't think so. If they hear me talk, they probably think I grew up in Orange County or some shit. But no,
right.
And
I told you
I grew up in the hood, but hanging with the homies, it's like you just lock back into what
you're like you're back there.
Like I'm back there.
Like you're right back there.
Because it's family. It's what I'm used to. It's home, and it's something that I'll never forget where I came from, and it's made me who I am. But like I told you, what a lot of people don't realize, I didn't go north of Wilshire until after like high school, until college. Like I always stayed in the hood.
And
I was always
were you was it that you were intimidated about?
Well, because you said about Burbank, with the cops in Burbank.
Yeah.
When you get harassed by cops all the time, last thing you want to do is be in affluent white neighborhoods or wherever where you can get harassed by the police. They're like, "What you doing around here?" You know?
Yeah.
So I never had to deal with.
I always
any
felt.
of that.
You know where I always felt like that? Where I got the most nervous having to drive through was Beverly Hills.
Oh man,
I always hated driving through Beverly Hills, man. I had my little pickup truck. I was like, man, they probably think, like sometimes I would go for meetings. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be driving. I just looked so obvious when I used to drive in Beverly Hills. But I was nervous too, because I always felt like I just was not comfortable in that area.
I mean, you've heard the saying, driving while black, Yeah. And sometimes you're someplace.
DWB?
Okay, I'll give you that.
Well, like, there used to be DWI.
Right.
So
DWB, driving while black.
Yeah.
Where you'll follow every rule.
Yeah.
You'll stop at every stop sign before you get to the white line. Like you're following.
Right.
And you'll still get pulled over.
Yeah.
And I've been pulled over sometimes where literally the cop will go, "What are you doing around here?"
Right.
Like driving through.
Yeah.
Do you know somebody around here? Where are you coming from?
Right.
And if you don't
answer properly.
And what's funny is like a lot of people just don't have to deal with that.
Gotcha.
So when they hear black people or Latinos or whatever complaining about this type of treatment, it's so foreign to them because they've never had experience. Like even when I'm talking to my white friends, they're like, really?
Yeah.
But they just pull you over like that?
Right.
And you go, yeah. And they go, that's odd. Did you do something? Like, no, I didn't do anything. So there's just this disconnect that people don't even realize, the things people go through because they've never had to deal with them. It's just like a woman can tell us something that would be shocked and surprised to hear, but it's something that they deal with all the time. And as men, we just have never had to deal with it.
Right.
But since we're talking about, we're not gonna talk about what I thought we were gonna talk about. So we're gonna talk about something else. When you saw the guy with the MAGA hat at Target.
Yeah.
Like, other than it being strange that a brother would have that, like, did you have a thought about him? Like, what were you thinking to make eye contact with him? Like, what was your thought process?
I just thought that initially when I realized he had that on, I just was like, and I've watched the news all the time, so I get it that there are plenty of blacks and Latinos that are Trump supporter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But my initial thought was that he was wearing it because he wanted somebody to say something. That's what that was my initial thing.
So you didn't think sell out?
Well, I guess now that I've seen so many, now that I see that there are, you look at some of his rallies, and you'll see some black people in the back, and they got the caps on and whatever. So I kind of go, look,
when you watch some of those rallies, doesn't it seem like they're well, we know for a fact they're strategically placed in camera angle. So,
the black people?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And it's like, how much did they pay them? It's like, hey,
they didn't have to. They just said, hey, we're gonna put you right here. You're in shot in the back. Because they're not gonna understand that. They're gonna go, oh, I get to be in the shot rather than you know what I mean?
I don't even want to get off into politics or anything like that. To each his own.
Exactly. I mean, but that was my initial thought was that he was wearing it because it wasn't like he was trying to match anything that he was wearing or whatever, which is fine. It's the color red. It's hard to match with that or whatever. But I just thought for the area that he was in, for West Hollywood, to be on Fairfax and Santa Monica Boulevard.
Yeah.
He's wanting somebody to say something, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's just me.
That's an interesting thought process. What I kind of wanted to
that's like me wearing an Obama cap in Houston or Dallas.
Oh, I see what you're saying. In a red state.
To be or another red state.
Or area.
That if I'm wearing a blue or if it said or Bernie or whatever, someone's going to say something to me, and I'm also
waiting.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I think he glanced back. That's why I think we made eye contact a couple of. I think he really was waiting for.
Wanted you to say something?
I think he actually probably wanted me to say something.
Yeah. I kind of stay away from that.
Oh, me too. If we don't get into all that, man.
If you can't make. My whole thing is forget Republican or Democrat or whatever. It's about right and wrong, human decency,
human decency,
respect for each other. And speaking of respect, I tend to wear Gucci. Sometimes I have a couple of pair of Gucci shoes.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Because I forgot you're not into fashion. You're not.
I'm not the most fashion. You're
not really into fashion like that, but you've heard what happened with Gucci and the clothing. Are you familiar with what happened?
No.
Well, so you have a black friend. I can enlighten you on what's been going on in the black community.
Okay.
Chris, are you familiar with what happened with Gucci?
Yep.
Wow. Chris is. Well, Chris,
is this recent?
Hold on a second, Chris. Could you explain to Johnny what happened with Gucci recently?
Well, they had a sweater that basically.
I love how white you sound, by the way.
Yeah.
They had a sweater
that looks like. It was black, but they had two versions. They had a black and a white one, and they had lips on it, red lips. So the black one, if you imagine,
I did see that,
and it was a pull-up.
I didn't realize it was Gucci. Okay.
Yeah, over the.
It was a turtleneck that you can pull over your face.
Oh, I did not see that.
That you can pull up, And the lips
are on
the big red pickaninny lips and the black face. And of course people got outraged by it.
Yeah.
And we're very upset, rightfully so. And now it's like, if you're black and you wear Gucci, you're a sellout, for wearing it because they don't care about black people. And I know something. Who else did this happen with?
Tommy Hilfiger when he didn't want minorities wearing his clothing.
And it's happened with Timberland when Timberland, the guy who owned Timberland, said some stuff disparaging black people. And just recently,
that's crazy.
Burberry,
I always thought Timberland was like FUBU, like made by.
No, it's a very
because I wouldn't wear.
Yeah, it's a very New York thing. I used to wear Timbs.
Yeah, a lot. See, I didn't even know you.
But that's a
Timbs.
very New York,
right?
Hood.
Yeah.
Part of the attire,
right?
From the neighborhood. You throw on a pair of Timbs and some jeans. Matter of
fact,
but
I would look like
I actually do miss wearing Timbs. But I used to. Growing up, even though born and raised in L.A., I love New York hip hop.
Sure.
So the fashion and everything that came from New York, I used to dress like I was from New York.
If I did Timberlands and jeans, I'd look like a construction.
Oh,
dude.
You would.
Yeah,
100%.
Because I liked them, but I was like, I can't wear these.
Yeah, if you wore Timberlands, automatically
Home Depot.
Yes,
working,
and you got to start. You got to do the accent.
Which one? The Home Depot guys up front?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Pero $5 an hour, if it's not too much, it's okay. $5 an hour. Gracias. Isn't that funny, dude? There's like 15 different Mexican accents.
I can't wait till we start doing this podcast live and these Mexicans start waiting for you at the end of the show.
Snap.
Hey, Pocho. Let me talk to you, ese. Pocho means coconut in Spanish.
Yeah. Whitewash.
Whitewash.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Burberry has a hoodie.
Okay.
And you normally have strings that comes out of a hoodie?
Yeah.
A noose.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man.
This is crazy.
See the shit we got to put up with? A noose, dude. A noose.
I don't even know what do they do? Oh, sweatshirts and t-shirts and stuff, and
they're
all clothing.
Google that. But Burberry,
say their name again.
Burberry.
Oh, Burberry.
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard. Yeah,
that's correct pronunciation, right?
I'm also not a fashion person, but that's what I read it.
We can tell that.
So what are you gonna do about wearing your Gucci's? Was the main thing here.
But here's my thing, man. And I guess this is not the conversation to have with you. I should have had another black person in here as a guest, but we kind of
I have Blaxicans in my family.
Oh, you do have Blaxicans?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you had Gucci prior to here, I guess the bigger point that I'm trying to make.
They don't want you to wear them. In other words, I want you guys to. Do black people want all black people to just throw out their Gucci stuff?
Pretty much. That's the sentiment.
It's like across the board.
Not for a lot of people, but I'm sure there's. And this is not justification. And my point, my thing is, I guess there's a difference between knowing somebody doesn't like you or doesn't respect you or your culture, and then maybe assuming that they don't. Those are two different things. Mm-hmm. And I just think as black people, and we talked about black businesses and segregation when we did the Black History episode.
Correct.
I just think if we boycotted every racist faction in this country, everybody who is racist, should black people probably be back in loincloths.
Right. Or FUBU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just so interesting to hear this argument. Like there's a big argument with the NFL where some people believe, because of Kaepernick, it shows how, the NFL doesn't care about, the rights of minorities and police brutality, which Kaepernick was kneeling for. They made it big. They switched the narrative and made it about disrespecting the military when that's not even what it was about. When a military guy is the one who told Kaepernick to kneel.
Because he sat. It was Nate Boyer. I think his name's Nate Boyer. He was an Army. Mm-hmm. He was a Green Beret, 8 years, I believe, in the Army. And he also played for briefly, I guess, the Seahawks. He was a college guy. I think he went to Texas.
Yeah.
And then he was he was a long snapper. And he reached out to Kaepernick and said, hey, man, kneeling is a very respectful thing to do in the military. We do it for our fallen soldiers. And it shows it does show respect for what you're doing. So in other words.
But you know what drives me crazy? The outrage from people who dodged the draft, who didn't serve the country. Like, really, Trump, you're outraged by this, and you avoided serving.
Three times at least.
Somebody
said 5, but
you avoided serving at all costs. But now, all of a sudden, you have all this respect for the military when this isn't even what it's about.
Correct.
So you have a lot of people. It's weird with the NFL. You got people on the both sides. You have white people or mainstream America, whatever we call it, they're disrespecting the military. We're not going to support their product. We're not going to watch. Then you have black people going, the NFL doesn't give a damn about us and our rights, so we're going to stop watching too. So I have a lot of black friends who don't watch the NFL. My thing is, what's hard for me is,
let me write this down so I forget.
there's still black players participating and playing every week. So do we not support them? And
right.
Is it unilateral? Does every owner feel this way? We've seen what the Rooneys have done for civil rights. They have the Rooney Rule in the NFL to help minority candidates get jobs. Al Davis was a friend to the black man, first one to hire a black coach and was in the forefront.
And Tom Flores.
And then,
on the other end.
Yes, with the Mexican, you know what I mean? Who should be in the Hall of Fame, and he's not. Plunkett should be in the Hall of Fame, and he's not. But that's a whole nother argument. So I do see both sides, and it's interesting with the NBA, who has an even higher percentage of black players. Yeah. It's mandatory that they stand for the national anthem. Right. But people feel they have freedoms in other areas, and the NFL, and the NBA has stepped up in other social issues, what they did with Donald Sterling, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
But it's so interesting to be in a position of how people can make one judgment about you, how we talked about the Magna hat. So you just thought he wanted attention. Me, in my head, being perfectly honest, I'm thinking, sell out. If I saw somebody with that, and how fair or unfair is that? So if we see somebody with some Gucci who probably bought it in
a year ago,
and we see him with Gucci, like, man, this little sellout wearing Gucci. We don't mess with Gucci no more. But the thing that makes me laugh is most of the people that want to boycott all these things don't spend money on the products they're telling everybody to boycott.
That's true. It does seem like it's always people on the outside. Now, I've told you I've had...
You had Payless. Man, forget Gucci, man. I ain't never wearing Gucci. Like,
you never wore it before.
You never wore it before. It's easy for you to boycott. It's easy for people to boycott the NFL because they don't spend any money on the NFL. But you're still drinking your Budweiser and your Bud Light, who are major sponsors of the NFL.
Correct.
So what are we... I just think it's hard to just paint somebody...
Yeah, it's one brush.
And me and you have dealt with this in our communities, because Latinos and black people, we're quick to call people sellouts.
Yeah.
So if you go to college, if you speak, quote unquote, proper English, if you...
you weren't from the hood, or
you're automatically painted as a sellout. Yeah. But the dude who's selling dope on the corner, the one who's calling women out of their name bitches and hoes all day, they're down brothers. So this guy's a sellout because he does X, Y, and Z.
He elevated himself.
Yeah. So in your mind, because you have self-hate or whatever, you think that he's trying to be white instead of just trying to live a better life
excel
in this white world that we live in.
Yeah.
In this, especially this country that's, based in white supremacy. So if you've learned how to navigate, if you're trying to navigate that, and overall you want to uplift your people, to me that's the bottom line. Like, what are you doing to uplift your people. If I'm wearing Gucci, but I'm volunteering in the hood, or I'm a sellout because I'm wearing a pair of Gucci shoes that I bought a month ago or a year ago when I didn't know that they did these things. But with these companies, the thing that's harsh, like I said, I'm not saying who's right and who's wrong or what you should or shouldn't do if you're black in this situation. Is to each his own, and I don't think you can live your life caring about what people think anyway. Correct. But the thing that's hard with the Gucci thing is, like, how many people did they have to get past to okay something like that? Like, that shows you, like, there's probably no black people in decision making
in those rooms meetings, when they're looking at new products, and
who thinks that that's okay?
And it's weird. I'm surprised that the shoes from Katy Perry got passed. So she did 2 shoes. They're like they're open toe sandal sort of shoes for women. You know how they're like this, and then it's like a sandal almost.
Yeah.
So one was white, and it had eyes, a nose, and a mouth, red lips. But the other shoe is black. So it has the eyes, the nose, and the red lips, and that looks like blackface. But it's weird with this our environment, with everything going on with. I thought to myself, how did that even get on the shelves? How did it get all the way to that point?
And people always want to throw out affirmative action and things like that, but when you only have one type of people making a decision, they're always going to skew to what their likes are, what their preferences are, what they know. That's why diversity is important, because you can have somebody go, hey, I know you guys might not know this, but black people would find that offensive. And then you can have a conversation. Everybody would probably turn around and go, really?
Yeah. Is it good?
Why would they? And then the conversation starts.
And then they can get those, what are those, focus groups or whatever those be, and they could show the product and go, is anybody
But a lot of these companies and a lot of these businesses, they don't give a damn what minorities think, and they don't care. But we are the top consumers in this country. Like, we spend money.
Yeah.
You know, remember me and you had that conversation about daytime hosts. Why you explain to the listeners about why you see a lot of black daytime hosts.
It's what
a producer told you.
Yeah, the producer was like, well, if you look at the black hosts, middle America loves that.
So let's go with Steve Harvey. Wayne Brady was a host.
He's still a host on
Wayne Brady.
Yeah.
I know Sherry Shepherd had, daytime.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then they have like not the View, but the not the Talk. There's the other one. The Real. They love because middle America really likes that flair and that personality. Let's
take it a step further. Why? Because the guy told you. Because of employment, and there's a lot of. They felt like there are a lot of unemployed blacks and Latinos that were home during the day to watch these shows.
Correct. There you go. Yeah. This is a producer told me this.
Yeah. That's you know what I mean? So it's strategic. So in getting back to the whole point of
and a lot of it too is, and also like he said, it's like, hey, their personalities as well. When they're hosting, they're going broader and bigger than somebody who is white or Latino would probably go or do. You know what I'm saying? And they like that. They like that energy. They and people in middle America love that as well. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's one of those things because I remember I told you, I was like, hey, let's try to put together some type of show, hosting game show or something, because I thought we could do it in a different way, but in a way or
I just think it's.
And by the way, I didn't get this point here because I want to make this point real quick.
What point?
About Kaepernick real fast.
Well, go ahead.
So because I want to make this point because I do take the time to talk to whenever I do shows on the road, sometimes even here in LA.
Yeah.
And if I meet veterans, I always have bring up the conversation about
absolutely
Kaepernick.
I do too,
and you do too.
Yeah.
And so just so people know, it's been both sides, man. One side has been some of them going, I don't like it, man. I don't appreciate it during the national. And then there's the others, veterans who go, well, this is what we serve and fight for.
Yeah.
That's freedom of speech.
Yeah.
That is his right to do that. But and by the way, people think protesting is all this new stuff. Women were protesting to vote 100 years ago.
Yeah.
100 years ago.
Yeah.
They just started to vote. So when I hear people go, so sick of these, protest this, protest that, and then apparently it's only the liberals.
Yeah.
But no, it's people who just want to be heard, and that's everybody's right. But some of these veterans were like, this is why we served, and this is why those people sacrificed their life to be in this country. When you don't feel you're represented properly, you get to protest, and you have freedom of speech.
Absolutely. That's
I don't want to, people always go, what are veterans thinking? Well, why don't you ask some?
Yeah.
Why don't you take the time to go to an AMVETS room, American Legion Hall? Why don't you talk to some veterans there and then find out for yourself?
Well, what's so amazing
instead of listening to the media,
it's like it's this over concern and love for the military all of a sudden when somebody protests what's going on. But how many homeless vets are there in this country? How many blacks and Latinos have served this country, who are instrumental in fighting for this country's freedom, who came back to America and was still called nigger when they came back? You know, and Muhammad Ali had the famous quote about the Viet.
They didn't do nothing to me.
They ain't done nothing to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you come back to this country that you fought for, that our ancestors shed blood for, and died for the right for people to be able to protest and speak up, and people have a problem with that. Now, the whole point of protest is to make people uncomfortable, correct?
Correct.
So
that's the point.
It's the whole point. Yeah. So protest isn't convenient. Fighting for freedom isn't convenient. Yeah. And never will be.
Right.
When you have to fight for something, fighting isn't something that's convenient. It's something that you do because you feel that it's necessary and it's something that you believe in. But the bigger problem to me is there just needs to be more diversity. I know we only make up a small percentage of the population in this country, but as a black man and as an American, we were instrumental in the building of this country and helped this country acquire so much wealth as we talked about.
Yep.
And it's not about taking over or putting white people out. It's just about inclusion. It's just about working together and coming together.
Correct.
And to be able to have a voice. So when you're in these rooms at Gucci, and when somebody might go, well, it's my business. Do I have to have a black person in my business? Well, if you're trying to sell to black people.
Yeah. Right.
If you're trying to sell to Latinos, why can't shit be like a Benetton ad and you just have representation? Or at least somebody who's aware enough to understand, like, we're doing this. Maybe we should get such and such to come in here and ask them their opinion, because I don't know anything about this. And I always respect somebody when they say, hey, man, I don't know, but I'm willing to do the research to find the answers.
Yeah.
And I just think it's created a lot of dysfunction, in our country, in our individual communities, because we're quick, especially with all this Gucci stuff. It's like now black people are fighting each other when there's a bigger picture of all this. We're just talking about clothes, but there's bigger problems. And somebody wearing Gucci doesn't necessarily mean that they're not for the cause and they're not woke or they're not down for black people. If somebody showed up wearing Gucci and helped pay your rent or gave you a job or whatever, you're like, nah, man, I ain't fucking with you because you wearing Gucci, man. I'm gonna sit over here and starve and be in this welfare line. Like, no.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a comic posted the other day, because a lot of people are going after Floyd Mayweather, and I know this to be a fact, and I'm not here to defend Floyd because I don't agree with everything that he does.
Yeah, right.
But I do have respect for people who do a lot for people behind the scenes. That people don't know about. And me and there's a lot of people that do things for the public attention that are horrible human beings.
Right.
Like horrible. Mm-hmm. But the public thinks they're great because they look at the Instagram and they see all these things of, helping people. And this guy is so generous and this and that. Mm-hmm. It's a tax write-off. This person doesn't give a damn about these people. He's just doing it for publicity to move his brand along.
Correct.
So with that being said, I just think we just have to get back to judging people for who they are and checking myself on that, because I'm quick to say something just by my initial reaction of like, that person's a sellout. I mean, it used to even been like that when I saw people in interracial relationships, because I grew up in an environment where I was just around all black people, and that's what I dated, and that's what I was involved with. And then as you get older, it's like, who gives a damn?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're all human. It's whatever makes you happy, as long as you know who you are and what your priorities are and how you're trying. For me personally, how I can help move, doing my own little part. Like, I can't do what everybody else do, but Ruben doing his own little part to help better the lives of people who look like me. And that has nothing to do with who I lay down with at night,
correct,
or who I might date. Is, are you down for the upliftment and the move and the progression of not just black people, but of course that's my focus because we are oppressed, but just for humanity as a whole.
Sure.
So anyway, man, it's interesting how we got on this topic just from the brother with the MAGA hat. But we're going to do that other topic.
No, we're going to do the other one, and we'll start off right off the bat with it. I mean, but here's what's great. Ruben and I, just so you guys, this is what happens when we're on the phone.
Yeah.
And we've been doing this for years. I'll call him and he'll be like, "Yo, what's up?" I go, "Hey, man, did you hear about blah 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 then at the comedy club?" "No, what happened?" "Well, anyway, by the way, there was this dude I saw." And then an hour later, we go, "What did I call you for?" "You said so." "Oh man, I'm gonna tell you about that later, dude.
I'm hungry.
I gotta go get something to eat." So this is what this is what we always wanted with a podcast. We said, "Hey, man, of course we'll come in with an idea always." We're always going to be good like that, but there's just times that it's just going to go off. It could go off just like it did on this one. This is one of those. Well, let me just say this. And then I thought I loved this. I loved it.
Just to kind of wrap it up, I just think one thing that's important is to actually try to have connections with people and have conversations with people before you judge them. I think is very, very important. What most people don't do, and we should put that into practice instead of judging people right off the top. And just some of the issues that we have in this country comes from lack of inclusion and people actually having conversations, because once you start having conversations with people, and I noticed this from traveling all over the world, is we have so much more in common than we think,
dude.
Man.
We travel a lot. We do the roads, and we start going. Well, I remember I thought this to me summed up what we're all about. It was I finished a show in Tempe, Arizona. People were walking by. I think I was selling DVDs at the time, so I was back there saying hi. And I got 3 different compliments. And one was from this teacher who was like, "Hi." She's like, "Hey, I loved it. Thank you for the smart comedy. I really appreciated some of that really smart, clever stuff." I go, "Oh, thank you." Then this brother was walking by. "Hey, man, you stupid, man. You stupid."
Okay.
I go, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know,
a fool.
That stupid fool with the black.
You crazy, man.
There's another one, and he walked away saying,
"Why are you making me do the voice now?"
He's all, "Man, you stupid." I go, thank you. I mean, literally put my hands on my heart when he said that, because I know how big of a deal that is. Yeah, man, you crazy. And then burly white dude, plaid jeans, construction guy probably. Goes, "Hey, man, you're funnier than shit." Those are my 3 compliments, and I said, "That's exact. These are the people I could still. We're all. They got me. I get them. Like, we are way more closer than." And let me just say this, because of the whole thing, we started off with the guy on the bicycle. Hey, man, be nice to people, and don't be rude. They open the door for you. Somebody holds the door. Say thank you. Acknowledge their existence. someone's talking to you, somebody that's working at a place. I understand. I don't know that guy's day.
Yeah.
Maybe, who knows?
Absolutely.
But first of all, he's the one that decided to come into the bank carrying his bicycle.
Yeah.
And maybe he was having a shitty day. I don't know. But still, acknowledge the dude. I thought the snobbiness of him, for me, I took that as, I don't have to answer this old black man. That's how I took it.
Let me say
you know
this.
what I mean? Whether
everybody
I'm right or wrong,
has the right to have a bad day. We all have bad days.
Yeah.
But that doesn't exonerate you from not treating people with respect.
Even when I'm in a bad mood, man, I might even walk by somebody and I'll go, oh shoot, I'm sorry, man, I'm leaving a place maybe, and I'll be like, I'm sorry, man, thank you, because I'm upset. I got things on my mind. But the Ruben and I, man, our thing, man, with rude people, inconsiderate. And the respect level is what we give people so much respect, man.
And it doesn't matter, and we see this in this business a lot of times, is, a lot of people when they start to acquire wealth lose respect for people who don't have as much wealth as they have or success that they have. And that's just an ugly quality in a person. Awful you'll see somebody, you've been friends with them, and now all of a sudden, because they have a little shine on them or they're big, now they treat everybody differently. Yeah. And I'm not saying you don't have to adjust your lifestyle, but just because you're a star or just because you have money doesn't make you better than anybody else. Your job just affords you that type of lifestyle to be able to make that type of living, and you should approach everything from gratitude. And there are people like that who are wealthy but who are just grateful to be in their position, and
they so appreciate
go out of their way to help people because they understand, they have empathy, they understand what it was like to be in that situation. And I think the lack of empathy amongst people, really feeds into the problems because people don't take the time to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. And if we all did that, the world would be a much better place.
Or spandex shorts.
Yeah.
Put yourself in their spandex shorts.
It would have been funny if you would have knocked him out, though.
That would have been nice.
Well, guys.
Anyway, yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Best of Everything.
Listen, share.
And we do Ruby Tuesdays every Tuesday night, 9:30 at the Hollywood Laugh Factory. If you're ever in LA or if you're in LA, come to a show. You won't regret it. It's one of the best shows around, and I'm proud to host it and have some of the best comics around on the show. So we out.
Ruby motherfucking Tuesdays.
This show is all about diversity and bringing everyone together. You never know who you're going to see at Ruby Tuesdays.